mental toughness of this team and organization for half a decade now since you've been here, and I wonder, what you saw from this group again tonight that was familiar to you of what you guys have built over the course of time.
Yeah, we've been small for like the majority of the time I've been here. It feels like up until we got Chet, we've been small and had to play that way, so it was nothing new for us. And those, I guess, years kind of built a muscle for us and how to play despite the disadvantage. And we wanted to come in tonight and not use that as an excuse. We've been there before. We won games playing small, and we can do it again.
Shai,
Mark.
go ahead, Joe. No, go ahead, Gallo.
I was going to say, Mark was talking about how it's easy to say take what the defense gives you, but in practice that's a hard thing to do when you're capable of getting anywhere on the floor that you want to. What's that like? What's that process been like for you to show some restraint in actually truly taking what the defense gives in the best way possible?
Yeah, it's something you fight. Every great player fights trying to find a balance between when to score, take over, and when to make the right play and get your teammates involved. And it's something that I continue to work on and continue to get better at. Both of them work hand in hand. The better you get at scoring, the more the defense tries to force you to pass, and the better you get at passing, the more the defense tries to force you to score. So it's just trying to be a weapon in both ways. Keep the defense honest at all times is the main focus, and just trying to be aggressive. And no matter what decision I make, being assertive in it.
Shai, I want to ask you about the same thing because Mark was just saying that, if you go back and watch you during your bubble year, that you're a completely different player. And he almost made it sound like, last year this was something you were not really showing as often as you are now. Just was there...
Sorry, showing what?
Just letting the game come to you. Is that something that happened this summer? Like, is there an inflection point that you could point to where that really started to hit for you?
I don't say this to slight my teammates, but I feel like the end of our season last year in the playoffs, they obviously it was for a lot of them it was the first time in the playoffs and playing games that meaningful. And I don't want to say they weren't ready, but I feel like I could have equipped them better throughout the year in taking shots, getting to spots, and being more comfortable in certain positions on the court, especially offensively. I feel like in the playoffs we were good defensively, and offensively is why we lost. And part of my job is to make sure that my teammates are confident and are ready for big moments. And I think part of that is building a muscle throughout the season with them, and that's something that I've tried to focus on this season for sure. Like all 82 games is very important, obviously, but everyone plays for the big ones at the end of the summer, and trying to get there is the main focus.
And because you mentioned it, the point where you realized that was, the last time you played last season, like how do you go about developing that muscle in the summer and coming ready for the season with that?
It's something to just be aware of. Something that you have to attack head on. It's very easy to get caught up in it's very easy to get caught up in like individual performances. But no individual has ever won a championship, and that's my main goal with basketball. So making sure that my teammates are ready for the stage is just as important as making sure that I'm ready for the stage.
And obviously, career high, 45 tonight. I think there are some people who would be surprised that that's your career high, just considering the level of scorer you are. I just wonder what your thoughts would be on that, and if you could describe just tonight and what that felt like.
It didn't feel special. It didn't feel like I did something I'd never done before. Just felt like another basketball game. I felt like I should have had more, missed some easy shots. But it's the game. You make some, you miss some. On to the next one.
So it's interesting that so many of these questions have been about you taking what the defense gives you, but yet you set a career high. What does, I guess, that say about your ability to flow, and what does it say about your teammates that within the framework of all of that, that you were still able to get 45 points?
Yeah, it goes back to a little bit what I was saying. They go hand in hand. So the more willing I am to make early passes, make early plays for my teammates, the less the defense is willing to commit to me, and the more worried they are about my teammates. And I think I had a pretty good balance tonight of both being aggressive offensively myself and making sure that I was getting off it early when the defense loaded up. Yeah, I think I was clicking tonight for sure in that terms.
You mentioned balance quite a few times tonight. On that, with you taking more threes this year, what's the process of you figuring out when you're going to take a three or when you're going to try and get to the basket when guys are trying to stop you from getting to the basket and want you to take more threes?
A little bit of a feel, the game, the moments, what just happened to play before. A little bit of just being confident, shooting a shot I worked on, and then a little bit of just taking what the defense gives you. I know it sounds redundant, but yeah, just being aggressive and letting the game decide for you.
And then what did you think about you guys' decisiveness on both ends of the floor tonight?
Yeah, we were good tonight. We had spurts, end of the third, a little bit like last 3 minutes of the fourth, where we could have been a little bit better in certain things, especially down low. But we did enough tonight for sure to get a W. We played scrappy defensively. We were relentless offensively, so it was good.
Shai, your team ISOs heavily. Like, guys are really talented. They're able to dribble, pass, and shoot, and you're the head of the snake at that. Like, how do you kind of describe why your team, and specifically your style of basketball, is an effective style of basketball for you and your team?
I think the best shots are created and made through the paint. So like the highest percentage of field goals made is in the paint, and the best percentage of threes made is driving, kick, touching the paint. We have multiple guys on the team that understand that, and I guess that's a little bit of how the team's built. But it's part of our identity. We drive the ball and touch the paint more than any team in the league, and it equips us offensively to be able to get open looks, get to the basket, make the right play from there. But yeah, we understand that it's our strength and it's the most efficient way to score the basketball.
Shai, I was wondering when you said
last one for sure.
When you said that you realize that you have to kind of equip your teammates better for moments in the playoffs and shots and things like that. Sometimes young players and young stars don't realize that until later in many playoff series. I was wondering what moment did that hit you and why did you feel that way?
When we lost, I thought about why we lost. And obviously there's so many things to nitpick, but I also try to, at the end of the day, I can only control what I can control, and I try to look at it through that lens. And I think that's one of the things I can definitely control through my play on a night-to-night basis. And like you said, a lot of people don't recognize it until it's too late, and I don't want it to be too late, so I try to hit it on the head early.
Dub, the perimeter defense out top to double Harden, Lou isolated one-on-one.
Yeah,
what was your take on the way that you guys executed that tonight?
Well, specifically the Lou play is just Lou. I've seen it a lot in his career. So that's just something that we trust him with. I think just trying to throw different things at people because we're smaller. So I think it's just kind of like a scheming thing and just kind of trusting what Mark is kind of having us do. And not try and second guess it in the game and just kind of full throttle in it. If it doesn't work, then, obviously we can adjust. But that's kind of what we're doing tonight, is just like seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and then going from there.
What would it be like getting that exclamation dunk there at the end?
It was fun. I high-fived some little fan after, too, so that was cool. But just good execution. Shout out Queso for the catch and the pass. But I think it's good when you get like a play like that to kind of cap off the fact that we had a full game of being good. So it's nice.
And then you jumped center. What was
I was close.
It was
I was close today.
What was the conversation between you and Zubac? It looks like you guys are having a little fun before.
Honestly, I don't even remember. I think he was just so shocked. He was like, "You guys need your 5 back."
Yeah.
But Jay Will gave me a good pointer. I'm not going to share it, but he kind of helped me out with the jump ball a little bit and what he does, because Jay Will's really like 6'7". So yeah, he gave me like some good advice.
Have you jumped center before?
No, maybe when I was like 8. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea.
What advice did Jay Will give you?
I can't say it. I gotta see if it works. Actually, it was close today, so if I win a tip, I'll share it with the world.
Got you. And just, he mentioned just you talking to Zubac, but I peeped you talking to Zubac late in the fourth. You talked to Harden a bunch. Like, why are you so talkative in games, and like the range of people you're talking to? Like, what's the range of these conversations you're having in a game?
Well, the range is because I guard the 1 through the 5, so I have a big range of people that I'm guarding consistently. I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty cool person to talk to, so some of the conversation gets brought to me. Other parts is just like in the game flow. I don't know. It kind of depends too, because like sometimes I talk a little trash too, but I smile through it, so you guys can't tell what I'm actually saying. So you see these guys like all the time in the summer. So it's like, obviously there's like, when you're on the court, it's competitive, but some of them are like cool, and I kind of just have that rap in the NBA.
And as far as the challenges of life without Chet, like where does the challenge lie in trying to not overcompensate for his loss?
I think it's just trusting each other to make extra plays and not try and force stuff because he's out. And that's something that we've had to learn to do without Hart playing, especially because he got preseason games in. So being able to like build that up. Hey, yeah, come here. There you go. Having that like built up with Hart too playing, and then not being able to play, like you try not to. And then even Jay Will, like having like a group that meshes, and then not having them, you try, just human nature, you try to like get it all back at once. So I think we've done a good job of just helping each other out as a team and trying to make extra passes and really play unselfish to kind of cover up for, some of the talent that they have to get us out of like tricky situations.
Yeah, you just talked about the efficiency. Shai's 45 points on 21 shots.
Jeez, nice.
Just your thoughts on how he was able to do that, and how it didn't seem like he was forcing either. He was aggressive, but it didn't seem like he was forcing.
I think just he's constantly harping on taking what the defense gives him. And I think he's trying to like adjust his play in a sense, and like kind of go out there every night and like work on something and like, try stuff out, which is a difficult thing to do when you're obviously like our number one guy on the team. So a lot of that is just like skill and like the work that he puts in behind the scenes to be able to work on stuff, but also like constantly get to his spots and do that. So it's one of those things you kind of just as a teammate admire. And then I think some of that too is you probably got to ask too a little bit of like what he sees out there, but he trusts us to make the right play. And I think when we can make plays, it opens up the floor for him as well to kind of get to where he wants to be at.
Excuse me.
You
Sorry.
take your time.
Sorry. You seem to come into the game a little bit more getting downhill, pushing the pace. What was your mindset tonight?
That try and get out and transition, and we're small, so you never want to play slow while you're small, and that's just kind of how we play too. So I think we were a little slow. Golden State try to pick it up a little bit here, and not try and play against a set defense as much. And then when we did play against a set defense, we kind of had the same mindset of like moving the ball, getting off of it, cutting, and kind of trusting somebody else to make a play.
And then Lou, the first like premier matchup for you, your rookie year was kind of that Harden matchup. Just how much have you seen yourself grow in that matchup specifically from then until now?
A lot. I want to say I'm being just smarter, more experienced. Just, faced him a couple times now, and I just feel like, I've seen him a lot, watched a lot of film, and I just know every time I go against him, it's always a fight, and I just got to go out there, compete, and play hard like I always do.
Lou, you're shooting at your career best from the rim. Is there anything specifically that feels different this year?
Right. Nah, just really just taking the good ones. Credit to my teammates or the guys that has the ball the most. Finding me. I just trying to be at the right spot. They draw so much attention. Just because they're so talented. So I just got to be in the right spot and really shoot with confidence.
Yeah, Dub. It's Veterans Day. Can you just talk about how growing up in a military household kind of shaped you as a person and a player?
Well, I had strict parents. I don't know, it just taught me like order and like I think a lot of like core values that I have now stem from like having military parents, like being on time, respecting people's time, like kind of like doing like the right thing. I think was big growing up, and then I think having a little brother too kind of made me mature a lot faster, and kind of from there just being able to like adapt to situations, like moving houses and being willing to like accept change, I think kind of helped not only me as a person, but like basketball, like here, like I'm jumping the ball now, like being able to like adapt to situations and having like a mentality of accepting change was big. So I kind of carry those values too, and just my mom made me a neat freak as well. So just like little stuff like that.
After an emotional game yesterday with Golden State, and obviously the stuff that happened with Chet, like just was it really good to just have a game the next day, just get that bad taste out of you guys' mouth, and just move forward with the season?
Oh, I got it. Yeah. That's the fun part about the NBA is that, for the most part, obviously when you get down to the end, you never know when your last game is, but there's always another game, and there's always another opportunity to get better, and so it's good that we kind of had that within less than 24 hours. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Okay. Yeah, Lou, obviously you guys got out-rebounded by quite a bit, but you scored
really?
32 points off of 24 forced turnovers. How critical was it to force those turnovers and create opportunities given their size advantage and given the lineup that you had?
Yeah, we just had to find some advantage on our side, knowing that, we didn't have our big guy out there, and then we just had to be a little more scrappy on defensively. Just trying to get some extra possession, and that's just how we play. We play hard all the time, and whenever we feel like we can get it still, we'll do it, and then that just give us a lot of energy, and then it could get us going.
Lou, that level of chaos to force 24 turnovers, knowing that you're going to be without Chet and even Hardenstein for a few more weeks, how difficult is that to sustain over the course of 48 minutes with small lineups?
We just gotta adjust. It's kind of new for now, but we'll we have no choice to do it. So we just gotta do everything we gotta do to get some stops and secure rebounds. It won't be easy, but we got the guys in our locker room to go out there and compete and play whenever they get their name called.
And Dub, Mark was in here saying similar things about Shai, that he's starting to let the game come to him, and if you watch him, from the bubble year, he's a completely different player. I just wonder, that process of, seeing the things that let the game come to you. Do you think that's something, you battle with?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, I think it's a little harder just trying to find the balance throughout the season of like what guys need, because we play so unselfish that you try and find a balance, like making sure everybody else has a chance to like make a play because we're so talented. So that's something that I battle with, and something that's like obviously just got to get better and better over the course of time. But it definitely is easier because I trust guys to make plays. But yeah, it's just kind of like a balance of finding like letting the game come to you and like when to also like know time and score and stuff like that.
Lou, you just are so lost in the competition, particularly defensively, and are in a mode where you're just like trying to rip the ball out of guys' hands. How do you, from a mindset standpoint, be able to maintain that and a soft touch from the three-point line the way that you were tonight? Because you hit some game-changing threes in addition to being kind of grinding in defensively.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say it all comes from the preparation, just, getting ready for those type of moments. Defensively, I'll always bring the energy and play hard and, do whatever I can to get a stop. And sometimes offensively, I got to come down a little bit and wait for the ball to find me. And then that's just how I prep in the offseason and knowing what type of shots I'm going to get in the game now.
Andrew? Mark talked earlier about adversity being like a big part of competition. How do you guys see yourself getting through like the adversity of not having a big man, over the course of these next several games?
I'm just playing hard. It's unfortunate, but it's like no team is going to feel sorry for us. So it's just one of those things. You just adapt and continue to get better and push through it. There's so many games throughout the season to get better and not harp on what we don't have, and we have so much on the team. And, obviously we look forward to them coming back, but our reality is that they're not here right now, and we still have to win games. So that's how we approach it.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of unusual things about Shai's game, but like one thing that I wonder if you guys think is unusual, he likes to take shots like deep on the baseline, almost like behind the backboard. It feels like he has like a comfort taking those shots. Like, what do you guys think about that particular shot that he seems to always make?
He works on it. That's all I gotta say. He works on it. Whenever he gets to a spot and he feels comfortable, he'll let it fly, and then
shoots a lot of tough shots.
Yeah, he makes a lot of tough shots, but he works on it after practice. Whenever we see the coaches guard him, that's how they guard him for real, and he makes those shots. So we're not surprised whenever he makes those.
Tell him to keep shooting it.
Yeah.
Jalen, you've played against bigger guys a lot. Do you have like a certain thing you do against all guys? Or do you have like a mental Rolodex against you played against a number of guys that this works against this guy, this works against that guy?
Yeah, it's like the same thing as like when you're guarding guards and you go through like film. The film is just different because you're on the block. You try and find tendencies that they like to do and go from there. I think a lot of it, like post defense is really physical. So I think that's the one thing is like if you can be physical early and try and like outwork people to spots and, try and force catches out farther, it makes your job a little easier. So those are like some of like the core principles of it. And then another part is like you got to compete. I think that's the biggest thing is not laying down because you're shorter than the person posting up.
In the fourth quarter, just the way that your team was able to keep them at bay and continue to execute with poise.
Yeah, it was a gutsy win. We kept the scoreboard moving. Stops were harder to come by. At a certain point in the second half, after we extended that lead into the third and into the fourth, they started drilling shots and. I think they gained some rhythm and confidence. We had a hard time turning them off, but we moved the scoreboard on offense. The guys did a really good job executing. But yeah, gutsy win, great win.
And then, how much do you feel like J-Dub leaned on the experience guarding Antetokounmpo and Wembanyama and guys that had size on him? This is not the first time that he's been in a position like he was tonight.
Yeah, he started the game there, but even in this stretch, at the beginning part of the season in the minutes where Holmgren was off, he was playing second unit minutes and guarding the five and a lot of those rotations. He was opposite Caruso on a lot of those. Those guys have done a lot of the heavy lifting. So it's nothing new for him. He did a really good job tonight. Both those guys did, and the help did a really good job with the pressure and the backside help. They got the best of us on some possessions, but I thought overall that netted out well.
Mark, just how do you think the team specifically handled the challenges that come with, life without Chet?
Just as I'd expect. This is a team that has made a habit in a number of years now of responding to challenges with energy and together and seeing them as opportunities. These are resilient, high-character people, and that's on display time and again. Tonight was it was pretty routine. At this point, it's almost surprising when we're not like that in the moments that we're not.
And inside of that, maybe guys' individual desire to be fluid to cover different bases? Is there a push and pull? Like what's the challenge there to maybe not overcompensate for the loss of Chet?
I don't know. I mean, you can ask them, but they do a really good. I mean, I think what they lean back on is they're highly competitive. They want to win, and they're highly connected. They're a very connected team, and so they're going to do whatever it takes to win, and they're going to do it together. And that's the spirit this team has had for a long period of time, like I've said, and I thought that was on display again tonight.
What do you think, you guys' decisiveness on both ends of the floor? Seems like quicker shots, quicker rotations.
Yeah, I thought last night we were just really slow on a lot of plays. We got to the paint a lot last night. We were able to crack their initial defense, and then we weren't off it early. We weren't ahead of them, really until late in the third and the fourth quarter. Tonight we were much better. We had our cracks tonight. We still drove it. We still got advantages, but then we moved off it early. We got great shots, made our share of them, missed a high number of quality looks as well. But we were able to weather, a really good shooting night by the Clippers with the possession battle.
What about on the defensive end?
Thought, really good for a long period of time. Like I said, they got it going. I mean, Powell, drilled some really tough shots there. Harden made a couple really tough shots. Zubac, you're going to lose a couple battles, when you're playing small against a guy like that. They'll get you on a play or they'll get you on the bounce of a ball or something. But I thought overall, just the effort and the connectedness, it wasn't a masterpiece of execution, but the effort and connectedness was really good.
And then J-Dub seemed like he was pushing the pace really well for you guys. What you like from him in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, he had great energy tonight. He's got a chance to be a great player, and what makes him great, he might already be one. What makes him great is just how rounded his game is. He's good at a lot of things. Offense, defense, he's versatile. He guards every spot. He can facilitate. He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. He can finish. He can shoot. He can play in the mid-range. I mean, there's really nothing on a basketball court he can't do. And when he's locked in on being a rounded player, which he usually is, he's something else. He was really good tonight.
Career high 45 points for Shai tonight. 9 assists, only 1 turnover. Just what did you see from him tonight?
Yeah, I thought the whole team was awesome. But I thought, tough. Like I said, it's a challenge for us. We have no traditional centers. Not that those guys are really traditional, but we have no centers healthy right now, which presents a challenge to the team. And I thought his leadership and his stability tonight, and Dort, those guys were like vintage tonight. And that's what you expect from guys that are 5 years in. They're the longest tenured players. Their fingerprints are all over who we are and where we've come. And they were totally in character tonight. They had great nights.
Talking about playing small, we had Caruso in here the other night, and he talked about how much 4 he played in Chicago and how excited he was to come to Oklahoma City to play a little more natural. But
yeah,
now
how's that going for him?
In these situations, he's getting switched off to the 5 quite a bit. And tonight, him and Dort competed a lot. Just talk about those two guys competing with Zubac.
Yeah, I mean, they're competitors, man. There's no challenge you're going to put in front of really any of them. But Caruso's so wise and he's got the intellect and the sophistication to go with the drive and the competitive energy. So yeah, he was big time. But he has Chet got hurt last night. I understand that's kind of the thing. But we've been playing small in the non-Chet minutes all season, and they've been doing this all season. We just had to do it for longer tonight.
This is an indication. I mean, you're a deep team. You're going to need that depth because even you had to really dig deep tonight to hold them off. I mean, you led most of the way, but they kept kind of coming back, and you kept having to dig deep to hold the lead.
Yeah, I thought we showed great perseverance in the game. It was a 48-minute game. They pressed us at different times, and it didn't go our way all night. But we stayed in it. Like I said, I didn't think the execution was great, but I did think the compete level and the connectedness was outstanding.
Yeah, Coach, can you just talk about Shai's ability to kind of turn on and turn off different facets of his game?
I think he's learning how to take what the defense gives, and it's hard. I think that sounds simple when somebody says it in a sentence, but it's really hard when you can get whatever you want, whenever you want. It's really, really hard to just take what the game gives you, because, you always have that temptation of being able to beat your guy or score on your guy. And he's made steady progress over a long period of time. And I thought tonight he had a great blend. You know, he obviously was cooking on all three levels, but then he was off it to Lou a couple times. He was off it to Daigneault. He was off it to Dub for a big three there. You know, he had a really nice balance tonight. He took exactly what the game gave him.
You had a season high in threes attempted in the first quarter, second quarter, and first half for this season. Was it a point of emphasis to get more threes up, or was that just sort of what they were giving up?
Yeah, I think it was more the latter. You know, we never go in and predetermine, you know, on the heels of what I just said about Shai. We want to take what the game gives us. I thought we played with really good pace. I thought we were in the paint. We had them in rotations, and that's what presented itself, and we're going to shoot those with confidence when we get them.
Mark, you mentioned the temptation Shai might have to just blow by guys. I just wondered, like last year specifically, do you feel like he fed into that often, and just what are the ongoing conversations been like there?
There's not a lot of conversations with him. He course corrects. I give him a lot of space. You guys would be shocked at how little I coach him. He gets a lot of space because he course corrects and he self-reflects and he cares so much. So it's not like this ongoing dialogue. It's not a video game. And he is the best person to be driving his development plan because no one cares more about his game than he does. But he's been on this trajectory. I mean, the first year that I was the coach, the first year he kind of had the ball, the COVID year. Go back and watch a game of him then, and he looks like a completely different player in terms of his decisiveness and how he lets the game unfold. But he's still a growing player. You know, I didn't say that critically of him. He's continuing to learn the lessons that elite players learn, and he's an elite player.
Anybody else? Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead.
Carriage played for the first time this season. What did you think of him?
He was outstanding. You know, I was happy for him, first and foremost, because no one loves being out there. He loves 7 o'clock. And so I was thrilled for him. And he gave us great minutes. You know, he really ignited us on both ends of the floor, brought it great energy, moved the ball, got us into actions. Didn't go back to him because I extended Dub and Shai in the fourth, more so than we normally have. But he was really good, and we're really thrilled to have him back.